From the Padres Radio Network, here's Sam Levitt.
Miller set. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Guerrero swings and misses. Strike three. Chased the slider in the other batter's box. And thanks to a late rally, the Padres will go into the All-Star break winners of 5 out of their last 8 and at 500 for the season. A 5-4 win over the Blue Jays here this afternoon.
Feels fitting. The Padres get to go into the break at 500. Played a really good baseball game today, especially there in the 8th. Some good feels as these guys get some rest.
Yeah, some well-deserved rest coming the Padres' way indeed as they scored 2 runs in the bottom half of the 8th inning to win this game by a final score of 5-4. Welcome into our Jamul Casino Resort Padres postgame show here on the Padres Radio Network. Padres win the rubber game of this 3-game series against Toronto, and the Padres will end the first half of the season even at 500, as Jesse and Tony said, at 48-48. 2 runs in the bottom half of the 8th inning, a game-tying single by Manny Machado. Ty France, a sac fly to plate the go-ahead run. Mason Miller, as you heard, put on the finishing touch in the 9th inning, and the Padres get a very big win to wrap up the pre-All-Star break portion of 2026. I caught up with Manny on the field moments ago.
You tied the game with the base hit. What was the key in that at bat?
Just staying with it. Honestly, we're just trying to move him over, and get the next guy to, bring him in. So when you stay short like that, good things happen.
3 hits today. You have a really strong finish to the first half of the season. What's clicked in lately?
I'm just staying consistent with the work and, trusting your approach. Whenever you have that, good things happen.
Ty France, a go-ahead home run last night, sac fly in this one to give you the lead. What's it been like having that guy as a teammate again?
Yeah, it's been awesome, man. I think he stabilized our first base there, playing great defense. What he brings in the clubhouse, he's an amazing guy. I think we missed him, and having him here, he's been a tremendous part of our success here. So, he's just that guy that you always want to be around.
Big couple of wins to finish up the first half. How do you build on this when Friday comes around?
Yeah, just enjoy it. Enjoy the break, relax, get the body back to where it needs to be. And then after that, come back to work. It's going to be a good second half that we got to continue to do well and start off hot.
Manny, enjoy the break. Thanks so much.
No problem. Thank you.
Manny Machado with a really, really nice finish to the first half. 3 big hits here today, including that game-tying single in the bottom half of the 8th inning. Padres scoring 2 to take a 1-run lead, and they go on to win by that final score. And now the Padres will head into the All-Star break not only at 500 at 48-48, but also 3.5 games out of a playoff spot in the National League. Padres picking up a couple of games in the standings the last couple of days as well. So things trending upwards. We'll see if they can maintain that momentum as they begin the road trip on Friday in Kansas City. A long 10-game road trip to begin the second half looming. But first things first, some well-deserved rest for everybody on that Padres ball club as they'll enjoy the All-Star break. Lone Padre representing the team at the All-Star game in Philadelphia is Mason Miller, so he'll go to Philly, but everybody else will have the 4 days to rest and recuperate and get ready for the second half of the season. When we come back, we recap this game from start to finish. We have all the radio highlights for you. We'll hear from Padres manager Craig Stammen coming up a little bit later as well. Final score again in this series finale. Padres take 2 of 3 from Toronto. Padres 5 and the Blue Jays 4 on the Padres Radio Network. Jamul Casino Resort Padres postgame show continues here on the Padres Radio Network. Final score here today, Padres 5 and the Blue Jays 4 as the Padres win this series against Toronto. They win the rubber game of this series. A very, very nice win, and still a lot to do on our postgame coverage live from Petco Park on this Sunday afternoon. We'll hear from Padres manager Craig Stammen coming up in a little bit. We have all the radio highlights for you in just a moment. As always, our postgame coverage brought to you by Jamul Casino Resort. Hey, player, need a little me time? Jamul Spa was just named one of the top 100 spas in America. Jamul Casino Resort, the player's place. Let's recap this one from start to finish, tell you how the final game before the All-Star break went down here in downtown San Diego.
Which moments determine the outcome of today's game? We'll paint you a picture with our game highlights on the Padres Radio Network.
Right-hander German Marquez took the mound in the top of the first inning for the Padres. The second batter of the game for the Blue Jays was Nathan Lucas.
1-2 in the air, deep to right field. Fernando back towards the porch, looking up. This one gonna go. It's a birthday blast for Nathan Lucas, and a 1-0 Blue Jay lead here in the first.
So an early Toronto lead. Padres still trailed 1-0 going bottom two. Blue Jays starter Kevin Gausman got in trouble. Manny Machado hit a leadoff single. Gavin Sheets walked. Ty France singled. Padres had the bases loaded with nobody out. Jake Cronenworth dug in.
First pitch to Cronenworth, line over the shortstop. Jimenez into left and a base hit. Machado will score to tie the game, and Jake Cronenworth has made it 1-1 here in the second.
With one out and the bases still loaded, Gausman walked Sungmoon Song. That brought home a run. Padres led 2-1. Then with two outs and bases still loaded, Gausman balked. That brought home another run. Padres led 3-1 after 2 innings today. It stayed that way for a little bit. German Marquez took the mound for the top of the fourth inning. Marquez got the first 2 outs of the frame, but then Andres Jimenez hit a 2-out double. That brought up Ernie Clements.
Inning, and this one's in the air, deep to left field. Sheets is backing up towards the corner, and it's going to go. Second balcony Western Medal. Ernie Clement, the All-Star, with his 8th home run of the year, and it's a 2-run game-tying shot.
A tying 2-run home run for Ernie Clement. The game stayed tied at 3 for a while. German Marquez would go 4 innings. Ron Marinaccio pitched a scoreless 5th inning. Kyle Hart pitched a scoreless 6th inning. Meanwhile, Gausman went 6 innings and allowed just the 3 runs. So we had a 3-3 game. Going to the top of the 7th inning, Adrian Morhone dealt a 1-2-3 frame. Submariner Tyler Rogers came on for the Blue Jays in the bottom half of the inning. He pitched a scoreless inning. Morhone stayed on for the bottom of the 8th inning, or I should say, top of the 8th inning. Blue Jays put a runner on second base with 2 men away. The Blue Jays then pinch hit for Sean Keys with Alejandro Kirk. Padres intentionally walked Kirk to put the runners on first and second base. So again, the situation, 3-3 game, top of the 8th inning, go-ahead run on second base. Jonathan Clase at the plate.
Here's the 1-0. And Clase laces it into center field. Merrill charging, has to play it on a hop. It falls down in front of him. Varsho will come in to score, and the Blue Jays are back ahead. It's 4-3.
That's all Morhone allowed in the 8th inning, so the Padres trailed 4-3 going bottom 8. Blue Jay righty Jeff Hoffman came on for the bottom half of the inning. Xander Bogaerts got jammed, but led off with an infield single. He stole second to put the tying run in scoring position with nobody out. Manny Machado dug in.
Here's the 8th pitch of the at-bat. Machado swings, laces it into center field. That's a base hit. Bogaerts rounding third on his way. Varsho's throw will go to second, and a tie game here in the 8th.
Another big hit for Manny Machado. He would go to second base on a ground out, representing the go-ahead run. Jace Bowen then pinch ran. Bowen stole third base. That was huge because with 1 out, it was Ty France.
Now the infield in, 1-1 pitch in the air to right center. That'll get the run home at least. Varsho back onto the warning track, reaches up to make the catch. Bowen tags and scores, and the stolen bases set up the rally. Padres back ahead. It's 5-4.
Yeah, we've talked so often about the Padres being aggressive on the bases. They've been one of the better stolen base teams in the sport this season. It comes into play in a huge way in that bottom half of the eighth inning. The big stolen base by Bogarts. He scores the tying run, the big stolen base by Bowen to put himself on third base. He scores the go-ahead run on the sac fly by Ty France. Padres had a 5-4 lead going to the ninth inning, and it was time for the All-Star Mason Miller, the save opportunity. Got a ground out from Ernie Clement. Miles Straw popped out for out number 2. The game was left up to the Blue Jays' Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
Miller said, here's the 0-2 pitch. Guerrero swings and misses. Strike 3. Chased a slider in the other batter's box. And thanks to a late rally, the Padres will go into the All-Star break winners of 5 out of their last 8 and at 500 for the season. A 5-4 win over the Blue Jays here this afternoon.
Feels fitting. The Padres get to go into the break at 500. Played a really good baseball game today, especially there in the 8th. Some good feels as these guys get some rest.
A really, really nice win on the final day of the first half. Padres win it 5-4. They win the rubber game of this series, and the Padres, like Jesse and Tony alluded to, they will enter the All-Star break even at 500 at 48-48. Final totals here today for the Padres: 5 runs, 7 hits, no errors, and for the Blue Jays, 4 runs, 9 hits, and 1 error. The winning pitcher in this game was Adrian Morejon, who improves to 7-2. Losing pitcher Jeff Hoffman, who drops to 5-6, and Mason Miller finishes the pre-All-Star break portion of the calendar a perfect 25 for 25 in save opportunities. Really, really nice win. The stolen base is huge in the 8th inning. Manny Machado, a huge hit. Ty France, another big-time moment. And the Padres win a couple in a row to win this series and hopefully take a little momentum into the All-Star break. When we come back, we'll hear from Padres manager Craig Stammen. Much, much more to do on our post-game coverage from Petco Park on the Padres Radio Network. Our Jamul Casino Resort Padres postgame show continues here on the Padres Radio Network from Petco Park. Final score here today, the Padres 5 and the Blue Jays 4 as the Padres win the rubber game of this 3-game series here in downtown San Diego. Final game of this homestand and of the All-Star break. Padres go 4-3 on the homestand against Arizona and Toronto, and they finish not a perfect, but an even 48-48 at 500 to wrap up the first half of the season. Blue Jays dropped to 45-41. Really nice answer by the Padres after losing the series opener on Friday. And again, we said this last night in a really good one-run win. Another one-run win here today that just felt like a full team effort, whether you want to talk about what the Padres bullpen did here today. Ron Marinaccio, a scoreless inning. Kyle Hart, a scoreless inning. Adrian Morejon finding his way through 2 innings. Mason Miller with the save in the 9th inning, a 1-2-3 frame. He's been so terrific all year, but offensively, again, Manny, a big day, 3 hits. He had Jace Bowen come in, steal a big base in the 8th inning, score the go-ahead run. You had Ty France contribute again with a sac fly to put the Padres ahead. So up and down the lineup, all different corners of this roster getting it done here today. And the Padres picking up what quite honestly felt like a big win here today. Take a little momentum into the second half. You picked up another game in the standings. You're 3.5 out of a playoff spot, and makes you realize that this thing is a long way from over as far as the 2026 season. A lot of baseball left to play, and the Padres will have a tough road trip to Kansas City, Atlanta, and Miami. 10-game trip right out of the break, so it felt kind of imperative that they build a little momentum heading into the break, and they do exactly that with a couple of really big, really nice one-run wins to wrap up this series and this homestand. With all that in mind, let's go downstairs. Here's some post-game reaction from Padre manager Craig Stammen.
Let's pull up a seat in the manager's office and hear from Padres skipper Craig Stammen. Served up by Sinley Food. If you've had better chicken, you must be a rooster.
What is the value of entering the All-Star break, just coming off of a series win and the back-to-back wins against Toronto?
Yeah, big homestand for us right there to finish it off with a winning record and the first half at 500. It's just a good taste in our mouth we can think about for the next 4 days and then get back after it on Friday.
How would you assess the type of baseball that you guys are playing heading into the All-Star break, maybe reflecting on the homestand specifically?
Yeah, last 2 games come to mind as just fight. Never give up, and very easily we give up that run in the 8th inning and we could just shut down, and Bogey fought some pitches off and bleeded one in there, and then has the initiative to steal second base, gets on second base, and Manny's starting to swing it like Manny does and drives him in, and then Jace Bowen being able to steal third. Just a big inning, like a lot of contributions from a lot of different people. I think hopefully the players are starting to feel what their role is on the team and how they're going to help us win. And when guys start doing that and leaning into those roles, leads to a lot of team victories.
It's a pretty remarkable inning. How much would you like that to be a part of your identity? It seems like you guys have started to have more innings like that where you create things.
Yeah, definitely more innings like that. And even early on, against Gosman and yesterday against Savage, is being able to take the walks, grind out those at-bats, get to the 3-2 counts, fight a couple pitches off, and then get on base somehow. So those are fighting at-bats. Those are team at-bats. Those are not selfish at-bats. Those are selfless at-bats. We talk about that all the time. It's hard to be selfless for 162 games. It just really is. We think it's easy as fans and people watching from afar, even on the bench. But, to think about everybody else when you're doing something individually is a difficult thing to do. And the guys are starting to do a little bit more of that, as we go.
How important could it be for Manny to be swinging like he has been the last couple games into the second half?
Yeah, very important for us. I think it's a game changer. The Padres have always gone how Manny goes, which is a lot of pressure on somebody. But there's also a reason why we have 42,000 fans every single night, and that's because we have Manny Machado on our team. He's a big part of this franchise, a big part of this group. That's why we support him in the way that we do and believe in him so much. And he can win us a few games like he did, today.
I know the first half just ended, and you have some time off coming up, but can you just kind of look ahead to the second half and the challenges that lie ahead, specifically coming out of the break with a pretty important road trip?
Yeah, very important road trip. No rest for the weary. We get 17 in a row, 4 days off, and then 10, 11 in a row. So, we play the Royals lead off the series. They got some good players over there. We got to play our best. And then, we go on to Atlanta, which is a very good team. And then the Marlins, who are playing the hottest team in baseball right now. So we've got our work cut out for us. Schedule doesn't get any easier. It's big league baseball. But this is what we've asked for, is to be in somewhat contention and to be able to fight for a playoff spot with the second half in front of us. So exciting for me as a manager. I know the players are excited about it too.
What's your message to the guys this week? What do you hope that they do during these 4 days?
I hope they get away and enjoy themselves. And I know what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to spend some time with my family and maybe play a round of golf, but I hope they do the same thing. It's something that they need. They need a break. We all need a break. They've been doing everything that I've asked for the first half of the season, and I'm going to ask them to probably do even more in the second half. And, this little break is needed to be able to get that done.
And just that your first half, ceremonial first half as a manager in the big leagues, what stood out to you the most about this first half, just being a manager?
Yeah, there's ups and downs, and my job is to not ride the ups and downs. And I try to do that as best I can. Am I perfect at it? Nope. But it's a lot of fun trying to be as good as I can at it.
Seems like it was important to you to get Manny some DH days. He also had a day off. Why was that important here recently?
Yeah, I think that foul ball off his toe just lingered a little bit longer than, a normal foul ball off someone's foot. And he's had ankle issues and knee issues all in that same leg. So, whenever he's on his feet for a long time, especially in a 17-day stretch, you just need to, give him those days. He's been very good at communicating with me about when he's feeling good, when he needs a day, or when he can DH and still play. So it was a good homestand for him, getting a day off and a couple of DH days, I think set him up for success going in the second half.
How's Campusano? What is that?
Yeah, he was just a little sore, coming out of yesterday's game after that last swing. Wasn't the oblique that bothered him when he was coming back from rehab. So we think it's just something a little minor that held him out of today's game and should be back on Friday.
How much better do you guys need to be at kind of the timing and choice of your ABS challenges? It seems like there was some things today, it could have gone differently after Xander.
Yeah, could have. You could always, I think we had a strategy going in, and there's a couple went our way, a couple didn't go our way. One we probably got lucky on that we didn't use, that we got a little feisty about. And, sometimes you just don't know. It's such a small, fine line of knowing exactly where the corner is. And it's a new strike zone. It's not the same strike zone these guys have hit with their entire lives. So there's a lot to unpack with it. It looks a lot easier on TV, just like it looks like a lot easier to umpire the game on TV with the box right there.
Right. And I know it's all new to everybody, but the timing of them sometimes, I was just wondering.
I think, honestly, what our R&D department, I think everybody's department says, is there's only so many missed calls in a game, and so you might as well use them because you don't know when those calls are going to be missed. It's not like the umpires only miss calls at the end of games with runners in scoring position, And I think strategically that is probably what we want to do, is you want to save them for the end, save them for when runners in scoring position or late in the count. But sometimes, like we've seen, sometimes the first pitch of a bat is maybe the most important pitch of an inning. It's the old age, when you're a starting pitcher, you got 100 pitches. You don't know which one's the most important, so you got to pitch every 100 every pitch, all 100, exactly the same, with the same mentality and the same effort. And, because you never know which one's going to bite you in the backside. So that's kind of how I look at the ABS. It's definitely something we're trying to get better at. We talk about it all the time. I think Campy behind the plate is definitely a weapon with it. He's had it for a while and understands the strike zone very well. But even sometimes he's very aggressive with it too. And I think to be good at it, you got to be aggressive with it.
Can you shed a little light on the base stealing today, the jumps and where that's coming from? Is that on their own? Are you guys calling that? And is the first base coach finding something there?
Yeah, all of the above. Yeah, I don't want to give away too much, but yeah, all of the above. I think we've come into the season with an aggressive mentality. And, I think like the same thing I'm talking about ABS. To steal a lot of bases, you're going to have to get thrown out every once in a while. So there's mistakes. And I think, my strategy was to tell the guys it's okay to fail. It's okay to screw it up every once in a while, because in the end, I think it's going to benefit us in a game like today where Xander Bogaerts isn't afraid to go, in the 8th inning, down 1. Even, if he gets thrown out there, it's really bad play. but he knew he could get there, and he stole the base. Jace Bowen, same thing. Rookie on second base in the 8th inning against a very good pitcher, and he gets the third and it allows us to get the winning run in on a sac fly. So, I feel like the rules give you an advantage to steal bases. We've done a very solid job of that this far. I think our stolen base percentage right at that 80% mark is what we're trying to be. And, today it came up very, very big for us.
And putting Bowen in there, easy decision or no?
No, very hard decision. I was debating it with Manny on first, and then Gavin put the ball in play right away. Luckily, Manny got the second, and then it made it an easier decision, especially with the way Manny's been running and feeling a little bit, to get somebody a little faster in there that could score in a single.
And did you see the balk?
Did I see the balk? Well, the balk is him not declaring that he's in the windup or the stretch, and you have to declare every single batter. So, no, was I specifically looking for that? I was not, no, but the umpire was.
I feel so bad now. I never see balk.
Well, that one's kind of catches you off guard a little bit. The other ones, some are a little bit more obvious.
That was Padres manager Craig Stammen following this 5-4 win against the Toronto Blue Jays on this Sunday. Sam Levitt back with you inside the broadcast booth here at Petco Park as we continue to wrap this one up. Our post-game coverage brought to you by Jamul Casino Resort, the Players' Place. Let's chew on a couple of things that Craig talked about there. Look, I totally agree that the stolen base, number one, was a huge part of today's win, but was also in the first half of the season a huge part of this offense. Look, for some of the struggles the Padres have had offensively throughout this year, and there have been quite a few of them, one thing they have done really well is be successfully aggressive on the bases. Coming into, or I should say, at the end of today, they will be tied for the second most stolen bases in baseball at 101, tied with the Marlins. They've been caught only 24 times, and they're only 2 off the major league lead. The Nationals have stolen 103. The Padres have been a very aggressive team as far as stealing bases all year long, and it proved to make a major impact in this game here today. I mean, again, is it risky by Xander going for second base, representing the tying run? Sure, but he got there, and it was a big reason why he was able to come home on the base hit by Manny. Then you had Bowen pinch run for Manny at second base. Bowen steals third. That ends up being absolutely massive because he gets himself on third base with 1 out. That allows Ty France to hit a fly ball and get him in. If Bowen's on second base and that same ball from France goes into right center, guess what? Bowen's only going to third. So that was a really, really, really big stolen base as well. I just thought that played such a big impact, and it has been something that, despite some of the struggles offensively in many stretches this year, Padres have been really good in that department, stealing bases, being aggressive, and I feel like for the most part, the aggressiveness on the bases has it's helped this team. It's been a benefit to this offense, and that showed up in a huge way in the 8th inning here today. You heard the talk there about Manny, and it's something that I think a lot of us that are around this team say and believe, and this is including Craig Stammen. Clearly, when Manny goes, the Padres tend to go, and you look at the way Manny finished the first half, I do think you have to be pretty excited with what the potential for Manny is in the second half of the season. His final 11 games of the first half, Manny hits .308 with 3 home runs, 9 RBIs, and 977 OPS. And he had some really, really big hits in the last couple of days. You talk about that hit yesterday in the second inning. No, it was early, but we talked about it in the postgame yesterday, why that was such an impactful hit in the second inning to tie the game. And then obviously in the 8th inning here today, the RBI single, really, really, really big. So big hits from Manny, and that is a major development. If Manny is starting to get going in a real way, that is a major, major development for this offense, for this team, and hopefully a sign of things to come for Manny in the second half. And you know, it can't hurt dealing with, fouling the ball off his toe. Can't hurt to have a few days off and get physically ready to go for the second half beginning on Friday as well. When we come back, we'll get into some of our daily awards. We have a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard coming your way as well. Again, the final score today, Padres 5 and the Blue Jays 4. Our post-game coverage from Petco Park continues after this. Our Jamul Casino Resort Padres post-game show continues here on the Padres Radio Network. Final score here today, Padres 5 and the Blue Jays 4, as the Padres beat the Blue Jays in the final and rubber game of this series. Padres now will head into the All-Star break along with everybody else. 4 off days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and then a long 10-game road trip beginning on Friday in Kansas City. And we'll have plenty more time to talk about that road trip a little bit later, take a look at those games coming up, and, of course, we'll preview that first game in Kansas City on our pregame coverage on Friday, but a well-deserved break for everybody coming up over the course of the next 4 days. Lone Padre All-Star is Mason Miller. He will head to Philadelphia, but aside from that, everybody will get the 4 days of rest. Again, if you're just joining us, just tuning in today, another back-and-forth game here today after a 1-run win last night. Padres led in this game 3-1. Blue Jays tied it at 3. Blue Jays then took a 4-3 lead in the 8th inning. Padres then responded with 2 runs in the bottom half of the 8th inning and then ultimately win this game by a final score of 5-4. For the most part, a really, really good job of the Padres bullpen today. Let's tell you about today's relief pitcher of the game.
Which pitcher entered the game and slammed the door shut? This is today's relief pitcher of the game, brought to you by San Diego criminal defense attorney David P. Shapiro. We help good people regain control of their future when charged with a crime. Learn more at davidpshapirolaw.com.
Relief pitcher of the game today. You really have a few options with it. Morahone gets the win. I'm not going to give it to him because he did give up the run in the 8th inning, although Adrian did do a good job. I mean, he did pitch 2 innings, pitched the scoreless 7th inning, did give up the go-ahead run for the moment in the 8th inning. But you had 3 other guys out of the bullpen today throw 3 scoreless innings. That was Ron Marinaccio in the 5th. That was Kyle Hart in the 6th inning, and then Mason Miller in the 9th inning. And, you could certainly give it to Mason for the save, and he got through the very top of the order. That's tempting. I'm kind of tempted to give it to Ron Marinaccio because he ended up getting through Guerrera, Okamoto, Varsho, and Valenzuela scoreless in the 5th inning. You know what? Final day before the break, 25 for 25 in save opportunities. I think we'll give it to Mason Miller today. Marinaccio, really important inning. Same with Hart, but we'll give it to Mason Miller. Kind of put a bow on his first half. Mason Miller finishes the pre-All-Star break portion of the schedule with a perfect 25 for 25 in save opportunities. An 0.91 ERA in 38 appearances, 39 2/3 innings, and he struck out, and this is the number that is just gaudy, 72 in 39 plus innings. 72 strikeouts, a sub-1 ERA. He has been tremendous, beyond words good for the Padres in the first half of the season. The problem the last month and a half has been they just can't get to him enough because they haven't played from ahead enough and been in those save situations. But Mason, when called upon the last couple of days, no surprise, very, very good. Got through that game yesterday, that 9th inning with the tying run in scoring position, picked up his 24th save, and he ends the first half with his 25th save of the season. And now Mason will head to Philadelphia for the All-Star game on Tuesday. Let's take a look at the Padres' heart of the order.
Let's take the pulse of the Padres and check in on the heart of the order. Presented by Palomar Health Medical Group.
Part of the order here today, Xander Bogaerts, Manny Machado, Gavin Sheets. Really nice day for the heart of the order, especially Xander and Manny. Xander had the infield hit, got jammed in the 8th inning, but you know what? Found his way on base, stole a base. That was big. He had a base hit in the 8th inning. He was 1 for 4 with the 1 run scored. That 1 run was huge. Manny, 3 hits, big game-tying hit in the 8th inning. Gavin Sheets 0 for 3 with a walk in this game. So, part of the order, Bogey, Manny, and Sheets combined 4 hits with an RBI and 3 runs scored between them. So nice job by the heart of the order. Today's certainly a big part of today's 5-4 win. When we come back, a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard, plus we'll wrap things up, get you ready for the second half, take a look at that opening road trip of the second half beginning on Friday. Our post-game coverage, continues after this on the Padres Radio Network. Jamul Casino Resort Padres postgame show continues here on the Padres Radio Network. Sam Levitt with you inside Petco Park, inside the broadcast booth, as we continue to wrap this one up. Padres beat the Blue Jays 5-4 in this series finale, rubber game of this series. Padres create a little momentum heading into the All-Star break. Now 40 in and 48 on the season, and they do win 2 out of 3 from Toronto to wrap up the first half. The Padres' first series win since sweeping Atlanta in late June. So it had been a while, but the Padres do certainly have a good feeling heading into the break. We'll see if they can continue that onto their long road trip beginning on Friday. We'll talk more about that trip in just a little bit. Right now, let's take a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard.
Let's take a trip around the bigs to highlight the scores that matter most with our out-of-town scoreboard. Presented by Jensen Premium Beef Patties. Always a hit for grilling.
Everything has gone final today. The Red Sox came back to beat the Mets, scored 2 runs in the 9th inning to tie the game at 2. They got a run in the 10th inning to go on and win it by a final score of 3-2. Pirates beat up on the Brewers 14-5 in Pittsburgh. The Orioles beat the Royals 8-2 in Baltimore. Yankees beat the Nationals 5-3 in D.C. Cubs beat the Reds 8-4 in Cincinnati. Mariners beat the Rays 8-2 in Tampa Bay. The Phillies beat the Tigers 5-0 in Detroit. Guardians beat the Marlins 5-2 in Miami. The Twins beat the Angels 4-2 in Minnesota. White Sox over the A's 9-1 in Chicago. Braves beat the Cardinals 4-3 in St. Louis. The Rangers beat the Astros in Arlington 6-5. Giants beat the Rockies 3-1 in San Francisco. D-backs won again, beat the Dodgers again 5-3 in LA. And that is a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard on this Sunday. Well, in today's game, Padres trailed 4-3 going to the bottom half of the 8th inning as the Blue Jays took a lead in the top of the 8th inning. Xander Bogaerts led off that 8th inning with an infield single. He stole second. Manny Machado then hit one into center, 2-strike base hit, scored Xander Bogaerts from second base. That tied the game at 4. Then Manny went to second base on a ground out by Gavin Sheets. Jace Bowen pinch ran for Manny, stole third base. That ended up being huge because Bowen put himself on third base with 1 out. Ty France at the plate, and Ty France provided today's play of the game.
One bounce, one hit, one pitch can be the difference between victory and defeat. What was the most important play in today's game? This is today's play of the game. Presented by Bill Howe Plumbing, Heating and Air, Restoration and Flood. We know how.
Now the infield in, 1-1 pitch in the air to right center. That'll get the run home at least. Varsho back onto the warning track, reaches up to make the catch. Bowen tags and scores, and the stolen bases set up the rally. Padres back ahead, it's 5-4.
Ty France, that sac fly to deep right center in the bottom half of the 8th inning. Today's play of the game. Really, really important moment in this one. Manny's hit absolutely huge as well, but France for a second straight day in a couple of wins, driving in the go-ahead run. Had the late home run yesterday to give the Padres an 8-7 lead, and the sac fly to put them ahead for good 5-4 in the 8th inning here today. This was a Military Sunday here at Petco Park, and as always, Military Sunday brought to you by our San Diego County Toyota dealers. We make it easy. I caught up with Manny Machado on the field right after today's series win.
You tied the game with the base hit. What was the key in that at bat?
Just staying with it. Honestly, we're just trying to move him over, and get the next guy to, bring him in. So when you stay short like that, good things happen.
3 hits today. You have a really strong finish to the first half of the season. What's clicked in lately?
I'm just staying consistent with the work and, trusting your approach. Whenever you have that, good things happen.
Ty France, a go-ahead home run last night, sac fly in this one to give you the lead. What's it been like having that guy as a teammate again?
Yeah, it's been awesome, man. I think he stabilized our first base there, playing great defense. What he brings in the clubhouse, he's an amazing guy. I think we missed him, and having him here, he's been a tremendous part of our success here. So, he's just that guy that you always want to be around.
Big couple of wins to finish up the first half. How do you build on this when Friday comes around?
Yeah, I mean, just enjoy the break, relax, get the body back to where it needs to be, and then after that, come back to work. It's going to be a good second half that we got to continue to do well and start off hot.
Manny, enjoy the break. Thanks so much.
No problem. Thank you.
That was Manny Machado right after today's 5-4 win. A big thank you to Manny, as always, for joining us. And Manny, like we said, swinging the bat really well heading into the All-Star break. In fact, I'm sure if you were to ask Manny for as much as he wants the break physically to kind of reset the body, get the time off, enjoy it, I'm sure he would say, you know what, maybe this isn't the best time for a break with the way he's swinging the bat, but hopefully Manny can take that momentum into the second half. Really, really strong finish to the first half, and Manny, the big game tying hit in the eighth inning. And a great job by Manny in this game. 3 hits total, and again, a really, really strong finish to the first half of the season for Manny Machado. All right, taking a look ahead to the upcoming schedule for the Padres. Of course, the All-Star break beginning right now. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Padres are off. They will begin a 3-game series in Kansas City on Friday. That is game 1 of a 10-game road trip, a critical 10-game road trip to begin the second half of the season on Friday. 3 games in Kansas City, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Then it'll be in Atlanta next Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Then Friday against the Marlins in Miami. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday of that following week. So again, 3 against Kansas City, 4 against Atlanta, 3 against Miami, a critical 10-game road trip for the Padres out of the All-Star break. They will not be back home in more than 2 weeks, not until July 28th against the Colorado Rockies. And during that homestand, that'll essentially bring us right up to the trade deadline. So it'll be here before you know it, but the 10-game road trip to Kansas City, Atlanta, and Miami beginning on Friday. Of course, we have the Home Run Derby tomorrow, and we have the All-Star game on Tuesday. Mason Miller, the lone Padre representative for the National League at the All-Star game. Looking ahead to that game on Friday in Kansas City. First pitch on Friday at 5:10 p.m. Our pregame coverage will begin at 4:10. Both teams have not yet announced their starting pitchers for Friday, so stay tuned to 97.3 The Fan, and all the social media channels will pass that along when we know. But again, first pitch on Friday in Kansas City in that series and road trip opener at 5:10 p.m., and our pregame coverage will begin at 4:10. Certainly hope you can join us then, and certainly hope you enjoy the All-Star break, take a little time to, enjoy the All-Star festivities and get ready for the second half of the season. Hope you'll enjoy it. The Padres will certainly use the time to their advantage and rest up, and hope everybody has a very, very good All-Star break. As always, if you missed any portion of our post-game coverage, you can go back and listen to all of it on the Inside San Diego Baseball podcast, available on the free Odyssey app or wherever you find your podcast. You can also go back on the 97.3 The Fan YouTube channel and watch any portion of our post-game coverage there as well. A look at the final totals here today for the Padres: 5 runs, 7 hits, no errors. They left on 6. For the Blue Jays, 4 runs, 9 hits, 1 error. They left on 8. Winning pitcher today, Adrian Morejon, who improves to 7-2. Losing pitcher was Jeff Hoffman, who had a rough 8th inning. He drops to 5-6, and the save goes to Mason Miller, his 25th of the season. He finishes the first half of the season a perfect 25 for 25 in save opportunities. Time of game, 2 hours and 32 minutes in the crowd at Petco Park on this Sunday, the 39th sellout of 2026. 41,675 in the building on this final day of the first half. Once again, first pitch on Friday from Kansas City at 5:10 p.m. Our pregame coverage will begin at 4:10. Until then, for our great studio coordinator, Kyle Ovenshire, I'm Sam Levitt saying so long from Petco Park. In the final score today, the San Diego Padres 5 and the Toronto Blue Jays 4. We'll talk to you on Friday on the Padres Radio Network. Enjoy the All-Star break.